Mimic is the second feature film from director Guillermo Del Toro, who also wrote the story and screenplay with Matthew Robbins, based on a short story by Donald Wollheim. We start the film with an outbreak that has basically plagued this city from cockroaches. It's come from cockroaches, and this scientist, played by Mira Sorvino, creates this, what she calls Judas breed of cockroach. Basically, it carries this virus which will kill all the other cockroaches in the city and help hopefully wipe out this virus. We flash forward a couple of years from that, after that is successful, and something is starting to come out of the sewers. Something very big and something very deadly. Basically, this Judas breed that Sorvino's character created has now turned into these giant walking, and if Guillermo Del Toro had got his way, talking monsters. So this film is well known for kind of being plagued, I guess, with production problems, if you pardon the pun, mainly because of the very different opinions of the studio compared with that of director Del Toro. Del Toro had a very specific vision for this film, and kind of every step of the way, really, the studio challenged him on it. They wanted something different. Unfortunately, they didn't leave him to actually just create his vision. Now, I saw this film, the theatrical cut, a few years back, and I wasn't overly impressed. It felt very disjointed, it felt very muddled, and it was a bit plodding, I guess. I don't know, it just didn't gel with me at all. So it's been quite some time since I've seen this, and I recently picked up the director's cut. I was curious, to say the least, because I am a fan of Del Toro. He is one of my favourite directors, and I was intrigued to see if this director's cut could change my opinion about the film, and I must say it has. This is a much better film than I remember it being. Like I say, it's been so long since I've seen the original cut, the theatrical cut, that I can't really compare them. All I can tell you is how I felt way back when I first saw this, and how I feel now. And way back when, I didn't like it. Now, I do. It doesn't feel as laborious as it did when I first watched it. And the story seems to flow in a way that I didn't remember it. Things make sense, you know? We go from A to B to C to D, and it seems more logical. It seems to make more sense than when it did when I first watched it. Now, there is this character in here, this mute child, and I always had problems with him in the original cut, and those problems still exist. The character is just annoying. It just seems like a way that is forced in there, I don't know, to get us down into the sewers and this, that and the other. I don't know, it just feels unnecessary. The character itself doesn't really push my buttons, not the right buttons anyway. I just find him a little bit annoying, like those annoying kids you often get in horror movies that kind of run off on their own and drag the adults who are chasing them down into dark places where the adults end up getting hurt but they don't. So yeah, that's still annoying, still an annoying element of the film, but that's about it really as far as the bad points go. Everything else about this I really liked. Even Jeremy Northam, who I'm not exactly the biggest fan of. You know, when I see his name on the credits for a film, I don't go, ooh, a Jeremy Northam film. I want to rush out and watch that. But he's pretty good here. You know, I like him. Charles S. Dutton is pretty good as the moody cop who just, quite frankly, feels like he's just pissed off all the time. And Mira Sorvino as well, I really like in the main role as this scientist. You know, I recently watched her in the Replacement Killers as well, and I didn't like her in that film. I thought she was miscast. It's not that I didn't like her as an actress, I just thought she was miscast. Here, she's used really well, I feel. The creature design as well, as to be expected from Del Toro, is pretty spot on. These giant kind of walking cockroaches. I love the way that they kind of fold in and create this human face look on them. I think it's very well thought out, the design of it. Special effects maybe not up to scratch by today's standards. There's some CGI moments where the CGI kind of has that late 90s feel about it. You know, you think of films like Species where they're maybe a bit too ambitious with what they're able to achieve. But for the most part, no, there's still quite a lot of effects in here, some practical stuff, which is very good. I mean, I know that Del Toro likes to use practical effects where he can anyway, and I think for a lot of scenes in this he does, and when he does, it works well. The film itself really works as a nice kind of social commentary about how we, mankind, are maybe not doing the best job of it. We're kind of screwing things up, meddling too much in things we shouldn't be meddling in, and not caring about each other enough, and that maybe that one day will lead to God just saying enough's enough, time for the next species to take over. Obviously, given my faith background, I don't believe in that, but I get where Del Toro's coming from. This is a film that is essentially saying, look, we need to do better, we need to treat each other better, we need to look after this planet better. Overall, I really like this film. I think if you're a Del Toro fan and you've never seen this, you've only ever seen the theatrical cut and you didn't like the theatrical cut all that much, you owe it to yourself to check this one out. Like I say, very good film for me, vast improvement, and I give it a 4 out of 5. If you've seen Mimic, and particularly if you've seen the theatrical cut and the director's cut, tell me what you think of these two different versions of the film. Which one do you think is better? Comment below and let me know, and until next time,